My name is Ntuyo Livingstone, known as BAM. I'm a pastor and the founder and the executive director of Buwenge Hope Ministry. I'm glad to share about my little background and how we started the organization and how I became a pastor. As me, to Livingstone, I grown up in the poor family. My father and my mother, they were so poor. We could not even afford to get what to eat. Sometimes we go to bed with no food. I remember when I was around 8 years, I myself was the time I started looking for jobs so that I can get money and I buy my own clothing. My father was a hunter. When I talk about the word hunter, it is far different from the hunters we see these days, the modernized hunters. But when we talk about hunters, as with the Africans, you have to have the spears, you have to have the dogs, then you go to the bush. The whole day be there hunting. And sometimes when you go to hunt, that's where we've been getting something to eat. If you go to hunting and get something there, then you come back with joy. And you may come back when you find that there's no food. And we've been growing in that hard situation because we had no chance by that time to go to school. But I remember the school where I started the primary level, and I used to go to school 2 days once a week because sometimes they've been chasing me back home without money that I can take to school as a school fees, because my father had no money. Through that situation, that is where I started to experience the life, and I see the life is hard in this earth. Then after that struggle that we've been, we realized that many children, youth, many are struggling in the community. And as well, we've been identifying many single mothers, how they struggle with the children at their homes. Others, their husbands have left them, they abandoned their family, other parents had died. Then mothers, they remain with their children and they struggle with the children. And when you go in the community, you see how people are struggling. And I remember the time I was in that situation. That's why we come up with an idea after seeing the children, the way they are suffering, the way they are going in a hard situation, and it looks like the time we were. For sure, we come up with a group, with my fellow members, to say that we can come up with an organization that can start helping people, can help children, because we are targeting children really. Because we know that a child, if doesn't get an education, nowhere he can stand in this world. And you may find that they are missing a lot. They have no clothing. They can't afford medical care. The mothers or single mothers, they don't have school fees to pay for them so that they can access education. It is really, there was a very hard situation that we went through. And after that analysis, then we come up as a group. And my brother's son, that's Mokaya Aaron. I have my brother Moses. I have my elder, that's Kalende Peter. I had a brother also, that is Bamlambe Aaron. We went to Chivoga district, that's Chankwans. And we started struggling again. After seeing the hardest situation we have ever gone through, and we saw many children, how they are struggling, then we are attached at our hearts. We went to Chivoga, and we started planting maize there. Just looking away, we can penetrate so that we can start helping one another. God helped us and we grew maize from there, Chankwans. When we harvested that maize, we sold that maize, we got some money, then we come back to this place. And we started the organization with the name of the Teachers Association to Cater for Children. Because our aim, we are targeting children after seeing the way they are going through. Then we started the school for the reason being that the children who are suffering, who are going through that hard situation, the vulnerable children, the orphan children, so that they can come and start accessing free education. I praise God that what we planned, for sure, it came true, and we started that school in a very hard situation, and we faced many challenges. We reached a time when, as we to say that we can stand of teaching the children, yet we are not professionals to say that we can teach them, but after seeing that we can at least do something for the children to make their lives better or their future better. Then the time came and we start moving slowly by slowly. Where we started, it was like a house with 2 rooms. And then we managed to get timbers and we put wooden classes. whereby the children can go there or can come and access education from there. Then God sent us a man called Michael Rush. Michael Rush was the man from US. We don't know how he got to know us, but we had a small website that we've been using. When he went through our profile and what we are doing, really that man was so much attached. Then he managed to come on the ground to see what is exact on the ground. When he reached on the ground, really the man felt, and the situation he found on the ground, he cried, and we cried all, and even the children cried. So that house where we started was a very small place, yet we could not manage to gather many children in that place. Then my father was a helping man, was a kind man. When we came to him and we explained the situation we are going through, the scenarios we are getting, the challenges, through the work that God has given us for the children, then my father was also attached. And my father granted a land where we are now, so that we can build a school there. We can gather children there to see that they can access education. They can get clothing, they can get food, they can get medical. So, and we shifted from that place after the other man I told you, that's Michael Rush. After giving us a permanent building where now the children are sleeping, that building. We praised God because it was a favor from God after seeing the situation we've been going through. Then we shifted from that place after constructing that permanent classes donated by Mr. Rush, Michael Rush. Then we managed to get the wood again. We shifted the other wood that were at the other side, and we get another timber and the poles, and we construct a wooden classes also, where the children are studying from now. But now the challenge we are getting, those classes, that once it rains, when the wind blows, that rain enters and destroys the books for the children. And you know where they can run when the rain comes, also may find that they have affected them. We saw that it is a big challenge now to come up with a permanent classes where it can prevent the rain and the children having a conducive learning place and where they can feel place. It is a challenge we are getting now at the school. And after the number of children increased, where the children, even they have been sleeping, they have been using that building I'm talking about. That building is now occupied by the girls as a dormitory. That's the use. And it is they are so squeezed. Also, we saw it is a challenge to us. That it needs to have to get another dormitory where these children can be safe, they can be safe-free and be free in their minds and free in the way they can even access education from. So we are having that challenge, and we call upon my brothers and sisters who can feel that challenge to come out and help of having indemnities, having classes to prevent rains affecting the books and the children. It can be helped well. After the numbers increased, many children have no uniforms, they have no clothing, they may have no shoes in their shoes where they can wear. They have no food when they go back home. They starve. At school, we've been at least having something we can give them to share, a little. But after the numbers increased, also we've got the challenges. Now we could not even have food that can afford to feed all the children we are having. We are struggling of getting some clothes for them, but it is very hard to say that we can fulfill their needs for the children. Now, we've been having a staff which is small, but after the children has increased, also the staff has increased of helping the children, of teaching them. But of way of maintaining the teachers, at least also to get what they can feed for their families, it is becoming a challenge. It needs at least a teacher also to have something that he can put in his pocket so that he can go back home and at least care for the family. Because they are human beings, but they are having the heart of helping these children with a free heart. We were having services, church services, in those wooden classes also. But we thank the organization of Mr. Brown Saunders, who managed to donate or to grant a donation to this organization of Buwenge Hope Ministries to come up with a very big church, a very big building where the children can access the spiritual services, because we intend to see that we can groom them spiritually. We thank you, Mr. Bland, for the endeavorless love you have given us. May God bless you abundantly. However, that church is not yet finished, but was built. The roof is there, and the shutters are there, windows what, but it needs to see that we can do the ground, have the ceilings, plastering, and having the veranda around the church to say that the children can be there safe-free, because we see that on the ground there is that dust that can disturb those children. They go out when they are dirty. So we call upon also people who can feel in that way, in the way we are doing to groom these children spiritually. At least they can be in the place which is very, very convenient to them, and they can feel it, and they can feel peace. They can sing about Jesus. They can love Jesus. So we intend to do many things to help the children and to make their lives better, to make them leaders for tomorrow. I thank Mr. Brown Saunders. This man is the president of the organization named Shared Hope for Orphans Worldwide. He has done a great job in Buwenge Shared Hope Ministry, in the lives of children. He tried to make some children, their lives to be better. has been helping to get some for them sponsors. And their lives, some of them, they have changed. I thank you, Mr. Brown, for the heart that God has given you. I thank my team, Kalende Peter, Mwero Moses, and the staff we are having. The staff that are teaching children, like the head teacher, and the staff he's leading, they are professionals. They are doing a very good job in the children. So we started this organization in the name of Shadow Hope, Buwenge Shadow Hope Ministry, in the aim of helping children through education, feeding, clothing, spiritually, grooming them spiritually so that they can know Jesus, they can understand the value of God, they can understand the love of Jesus, of making them to feel that they have Jesus in their heart, that they will never fail in their lives, of strengthening them in faith spiritually. We are grooming them in that way. That's why we are calling people to come and join us and help us so that we can fulfill our dream. I thank you. May God bless you abundantly. Thank you, please.